Now we come to the second objective, which is to handle server closing when facing uncaughtException and unhandledRejection errors. As long as we also, console log the errors, explain what's going on, we can close the server gracefully. So let me explain for you. So let me give you an example. Now you can see my server, everything is going well. But I want to throw an error, something like this. I can go throw the new, and I throw a new error right here. And it says error in server or something, just for testing purposes, like that. So server. So now if I went back to my terminal, or like you could say, there is a thrown error, there's this like big mess right here, and you don't know exactly what's going on, and you see all of this stuff, okay? And this is not the way we want it. We want to handle nicely, all the errors that I have right here. So how are we gonna do that? So let me just make it a comment now, and we're gonna get back to it, and you will see how we deal with that. So I can do that right here. So I can go handle server errors or something, and then let me start. So like while working, we could have like a function. So I can go const and then unexpected error handler. We can have this handler right here, which is simply takes an error. I'm gonna show you everything, don't worry. Sorry, this is gonna be equal right here for this arrow function. So simply what we do, so if you have an error for like something, we just gotta go logger, and then we're gonna go error to show that error. Okay, that sounds like pretty simple. And then what we have to do is to kill the process of our server to close it. So how to do that? It just simply you go process.exit and then 0. So not 0, sorry, 1. When you exit with 1, that's when you exit the server, but also you kill the process, but also you throw an error. If you did it with 0, that means there is no error. If you work with language C, when you do exit 0, that means everything went all right and there is no problem. But when you exit with 1, there is a problem right here. So you can do this way. But I don't want to do it this way. I want to do it in a better way. I can create another function right here. So I can go const and then exit handler. Okay, simply right here. And this is also an arrow function. And if we have a server, which is simply what we have right here, this app.listen, I can make it a server. So I'm just gonna go right here, let server, and it's equal like this, okay? And then if I have a server, let me save, now everything is okay. So this is our server starting like this, or you can, simply make it this way, okay? This is like the server there, and then you can go server equal, and then you go app.listen, whatever way you want to do this. And then when we go back, this is what we're gonna do, logger, and then we're gonna go an info right here, and we're gonna say server closed, okay, closed like this. And then we need to exit. So I can take this and exit right here. This is because we had a server, we have to say like server closed or something. But if we don't, else we simply no need to console log anything. I can just exit with an error and stop my process. And then I can take this exit handler and I add it right here. So this is how we handle our errors. So how are we gonna know that we have an error? We simply, follow or like monitor our process. So simply if you go process like this, we are process, you can, for example, get the ID for something. You can go PID and get the ID of the process that is like working right now. But you also can do on, it's like an event listener, you could say, and then when uncaughtException, as you can see it's right here. What we will do when we have this type of errors, we will run this function, which will do this. We're gonna console log that error, and then we will exit this way and say server closed and, stop the process. So we're gonna do the same, but this time for not the uncaughtException, but we're gonna do it for the unhandledRejection. Like this. So you see, everything is beautifully done here. So now if I go back, there is nothing, wrong right here. And if I made this error again, notice this time what's gonna happen. Like you can see, it's just simply the error with these no big fuss, so like nothing like crazy going on. You just get an error from the logger, and the error is like what it did. This is the error in server. This is what I was like, what's error in server? So you can see error in server. This is the message that the error that was thrown, and simply you'll see get an info that is the server is closed. So this is actually beautifully done, and we have done it. So now we throw an error. Now maybe it is time to actually work on the signal, which is, let me show you something. So for example, while this server is running, there is a process that goes behind it. So for example, if I want to console log like the process ID, how am I gonna get that ID? Because a process that's going on your computer or like anything service has to do with services has like an ID. Yeah. So for example, you can go process.pid and you get that ID simply, and this is the ID right here. If you want to get the parent's ID, this is kind of a Linux course, you could say, but I'm just showing you that every process that we have is like this. You can see a PID right here. And that means if I want to actually kill something in my terminal, I can do that. So, which is like, you know, such a cool thing. But I don't have Linux right here. I have only Windows, which is simply different than Linux. For example, you can go just PS like this. This is the same for Linux and also Windows. And it's going to show you all the process that you have now working on your computer. And when you stop something, you could stop it. Like, for example, like you could go to your task manager right here and you go to services. I don't know if you can see this clearly. I cannot zoom in, but you can see all the services and you can click right, you know, and stop it, or like, you know, restart it, or like, you know, start it. But like, for example, like something happened in the server, like the server that we're hosting, you know, our application in, and then it has to close the server, like it has to terminate it. So we have to terminate it gracefully, also the same we've done right here. And there is like, for example, let me just go back again. So I have this, you know, ID right here. So if I want to kill this process, I can go simply to my, you know, command prompt right here. And I'm just going to do this for, you know, like with Microsoft system, what they call Windows. I forgot even what the name of it was. So if I went right here and I try to actually kill this, I can use this, which is task kill and then /PID to kill it by PID. Well, I'm going to change the PID, which is the PID that is consoled right here. That's, yeah, PID and not PPID. And then /F to force it. So if I click enter right now, look what's going to happen. You see, success, the process with PID has been terminated. And you can see we get an error right here, your application crashed. Okay, so we have to avoid that. We have to close the server before our application crash. So that's what I'm trying to do. In case of something like this happened, we have to close our, you know, server gracefully. So, but because, you know, this idea of like the, what we call them, the SIGTERM doesn't, you know, goes in Windows, but it's going to be, you know, important for us in production. It might not be now in development, but in the production build, it's very important to have it. And it's a nice addition, you know, you're not going to lose anything adding it. So I cannot kill like something like if you were like, for example, in Linux and you work on this, you can just go kill, okay, and you will do -15, okay, and then the number of that, you know, process, and it will kill it gracefully, and you will see what's gonna happen right here. So this is what I'm trying to actually show you. So now let me do that and add it regardless if we're in Windows, and we're not gonna be able to see that, you know, clearly, but you know, it's SIGTERM. You can, you know, search this and you will understand more about it. It's not a bad idea to read about it if you're not, you know, understand more. So you can say, okay, it's like, let me show you signal, read about it. So, okay, let me click right there. I know I'm taking so long, which is like signal 15. That's why I use -15. You can learn about it and how it closes things in Linux. So you know, it's a good read, just something on the side if you want to, but it's not necessary. But I'm just gonna add this right here. I don't know, I'm doing too much. I know I'm trying to, you know, cover everything, but it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing for you. And if you don't like, you know, this type of stuff, you can just avoid it because it's not gonna kill your code right now. But I feel like for production, it's something we should always handle in our, you know, code, which is something you don't see in like these courses. You know, they just develop and they don't show you what's exactly after that, which is things that are bigger than this and harder to grasp. So you have to really work on it. So for this one, I'm just gonna go process and then on. So process.on, and this is when we have, okay, you can see all the signals right here, sig. Okay, see all of them right here, and you gotta choose this one, SIGTERM, which is signal termination to terminate, but it's gracefully is different than 18. So I'm gonna go right here. So what we will do is simply do the same thing that we've done here. So you see these things that we've done here, we're gonna do the same thing. So actually, I don't need the else. I can just do, if I have a server, I can do that. Okay, server closed, and this is exit. See, so I have this. Let me try again. For example, if I try to do that, I don't think it's gonna work with Windows. It doesn't work, sadly. So let me just clear the console and let me go back right here, and this is the PID I wanna kill. And if I click kill right here, you see the process with PID has been terminated, but I still don't get that there. But if it was, you know, in Linux, you will see that. That's actually what is the difference between Windows, because there is no type of signals, or like there is signals, but it's handled differently than Linux. But because we're gonna, you know, host this application on a server Linux, this is what you should do and you should handle. Okay, I know this was a lot, but it's very important to do. And in this video, we handled, you know, the server errors well, I think, and also with having the SIGTERM signal right here. So see you in the next video.